And I think both the wheels of prevention and curation should go simultaneously. At the same time, the graduates which we produce should be more conscious of what the society is like. They are graduates of Pakistan to serve the people of Pakistan. They are not graduates produced for developed countries. They have enough. Pakistan may have been a country where it was difficult to meet your ends meet once upon a time. I'm sure people who go abroad, I went for my studies and came back. I didn't stay there, but I'm sure people who are looking for better futures go abroad and impart the training which they've gotten from here, imbibe what is available in the West, and they work there and create a name, like some of you here present today, they create a name. At the same time, I believe it is a loss to us. We have provided, I was provided education at a very minimal cost. I will be very surprised at what I had paid when I went through school, and because that government schools and government colleges here charge very little fee, and I am one of those on whom the country did a great favor by graduating me, giving me a profession, giving me a place to work, giving me the ability to treat patients, to learn from them also. So the time which has passed by when the situation was not good enough for people to stay in Pakistan or to come back to Pakistan, I have a dream that those times should come back. My class fellows, both in medicine and dentistry, in the early 70s, most of them migrated abroad. And every one of them, as different from graduates from other countries, every one of them dreamed for the fact that after a few years, after they've made enough, they will come back. But unfortunately, the situation was never ripe for them to come back. But today, let me assure you, ladies and gentlemen, the country is ripe to welcome people back and to hold its own people back. We need people. It is a mature country. We have gone through a lot of trials and tribulations over the past few years. And I have been, in the last 1 or 2 months, I have been mentioning the fact in every forum I go that Pakistan has learnt a lot. Pakistan has learned from the fact that it welcomed refugees from Afghanistan, millions of them. And it was the graciousness of the people of Pakistan to have done that. And then when I look at the world elsewhere, we couldn't even afford that. That's our morality, that's the humanity of Pakistan, the people of Pakistan. We could not even afford that, and we welcomed 3.5 million refugees at their peak. The 4th generation of those refugees is here. 2.5 million refugees are still here. And I must thank the people of Pakistan for having the humanity to welcome people and their brothers from neighboring countries when they were in misery and trouble. I think that humanity should translate into the health sciences as well. And when I look at the contrast now, I look at Europe, for example, debating on accepting 300 refugees, 500 refugees, 1,000 refugees. I'm surprised by the fact that countries which could afford, they're not doing what we couldn't afford and we did. So I must thank all of you. You must take pride in the fact that Pakistan is a land of humanity. There's still resistance in the world. There is a battle to resist immigrants, though in trouble. But anyhow, what I was mentioning was the fact that Pakistan has matured up. Pakistan went through the battle of extremism. Today, we have matured up, we have avoided that. Pakistan went through many trials, but we, in the last month, Pakistan made sure that we want peace. It is necessary for our prosperity. It is necessary when we want to lift the people who are sick, and we want to lift the people who are not educated. I think it is necessary that we must have peace, we must strive for peace. And Pakistan tested and tried, having gone through 3 or 4 decades of turmoil. I think it's a good omen that today the whole nation thinks alike. The whole nation subscribes to the fact that hate is something which should be, an extremism is something we should not have in our societies. And I look around and I see that societies are succumbing to that situation now, even today. And I am surprised by the fact they don't understand. And I have made statements that the cycle of this hate in a society is not short. It stays, living in Karachi, I could not imagine the fact that the hate cycle we went through in Karachi, I thought it may last 5 or 10 years and not more than that. It lasted 30, 40 years. So the hate cycle, once the phobia is generated in the people's mind, it's very difficult to overcome that. So Pakistan has overcome that too, So therefore I believe it's in the right position to make remarkable progress. In health, we should be focusing towards prevention. Of course, when we look at our own island, for example, of dentistry and of rheumatology, we are concerned about the fact that there should be more knowledge, it should be communicated better to the masses for prevention. And what are the forums which you can use? The lady health visitor, for example, is a good forum which could be used. But when I talked about that, in fact, in breast cancer early diagnosis, for example, the figures there were very high of people, of women diagnosed late, and therefore the mortality rate was much higher than what we find in other countries. So I was informed that the lady health visitor, for example, is overburdened by so many other things to do. I believe there is a good role for the masajid to make sure with taharat as nisf of iman, as half of iman, to make sure that people practice cleanliness and better sanitation, and that's the best way to go about. The Prophet ﷺ is a good example of the practices of taharat and cleanliness. So why should we depend only on the fact that the doctor goes out and only the doctor talks about prevention, etc.? The whole society should be looking at prevention. You can't lift nations unless you handle education and unless you handle people's health. I think this government has done a splendid job